Welcome back in the closet.
And this is part 2 of giving financial advice.
It's a finance podcast. It's meant to give you good financial advice.
It felt like we were in Looney Tunes and we were like wrapped up in rope on a train track and a train was coming and we had to be like, all right, let's not get evicted.
Couldn't be us,
It
though.
couldn't be us. I mean,
We're good for another month.
what do they say to the god of eviction? Not this
today.
month. The people who give out samples at Costco are largely elderly people. That does not mean they are disabled, senile tards. You guys are the ones calling her like, oh, she's just doing it to the best of her abilities. I hope she can put granola in a cup and give it to you fast enough.
It's like stealing. Please don't have children. You're going to teach them bullshit like this. Okay, first of all,
I'm gay. I'm not having kids.
No.
Because I'm having gay anonymous sex in Cheeseman Park.
you are following the financial advice of a comedy podcast of a couple comedians who are like drunk half the time on their podcast. That's your problem.
It is your problem.
That's all I have. on
That's
the
all I have
agenda.
too.
Welcome back in the closet. I was just saying if Nick and I had a podcast and it wasn't Saucy Sibz, it would be in the closet with Nick and Francesca.
In the closet with Nick and Francesca. That kind of sounds like, okay, this is going to be rude, but it sounds like a podcast that like a hot Insta-gay made that isn't going to go anywhere. He just like shows his torso online. That's not like that funny. Like,
Yeah, but we should start being
I'm
able
really
to do
not,
that.
I don't know why I said that sounded mean. It's like, I love to hate on like, not hate. I really don't hate on other podcasts, but I think ours is the easiest to hate on, honestly. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, like, what do they have to say? Are they even funny?
No.
But
It's
anyway,
a finance podcast. It's meant to give you good financial advice.
welcome back to the Saucy Sibz podcast. I'm Nicodemus.
I'm Francesca.
And this is part 2 of giving financial advice. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
No, but we honestly, our entire week has been consumed with mean comments from a couple Saucy Sibz videos going viral, or a few. And then I accidentally went viral on our parents' company's account, the Shot Caller, which our parents invented a Jell-O shot maker, if you didn't know. And last Thursday night, I was off work. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a bottle of rosé and I'm going to get some liquor and I'm going to make Jell-O shots on TikTok. And I got a little tipsy, of course. That was like my goal. And I wanted to be ridiculous. So I was like, episode 2, or like, I was like on this episode of our parents cutting us off. And people had a lot to say, but like they've been cracking us.
It's been so funny to watch the comments roll in. And also, I have to say, great job.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, I think it was pure just like
Inspiration
charisma.
from, oh, thank you.
Like, it's just like you drinking rosé by yourself in a kitchen at like 8 p.m. It's like, it was gold. It was just so good. And being like, oh, my parents aren't giving me money anymore, which by the way, they don't. Guys.
No,
like, that's kind of the joke. As you guys know of our financial struggles, like, you know, we were never like, she jokes and say like, we're cut off. Like we were never like not cut, you know? We were.
Yeah. Like we won't end up homeless on the street, but like they're not paying our rent. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Because eviction process started this month.
Whew, we dodged that one like a train. It was literally, we were getting emails and letters stuck to our door. It felt like we were in Looney Tunes and we were like wrapped up in rope on a train track and a train was coming and we had to be like, all right, let's not get evicted.
No, because they, as opposed to the credit card companies, they start the eviction process with a lawyer. And our apartment said they had already started it because we paid 25 days late.
It was like, I think it was 24.
Okay.
24,
Nick, so much better.
It's still crazy, I know. When I went down to the office to pay them, I gave them the money and she was like, oh my God, the attorney just emailed me about you. So I'll tell him to back off. And I was like, that's crazy.
And they actually do evict people all the time here because they do this thing where they empty their apartment like in the street instead of the dumpster so that the homeless people can go through it. But they lock you out and they take everything you own and put it on the street.
I think in those cases when they throw everything on the street, it's like people who know they're going to get evicted or like
they just left the state.
They left the state. They're, you know, all their stuff is in their place and they just like leave because they know they're getting evicted. So it's like Anyway.
Couldn't be us,
it
though.
Couldn't be us. I mean.
We're good for another month.
Good for another month. But it's crazy when you pay late, like you have less days to pay your rent.
No, our rent's due in a couple days.
I know, which is crazy.
But like, I think they've never gotten that mad at us because
no. They're fine.
No, because we also always pay the late fees. So like they get way more money out of us each month. And we just see those as like an operating cost.
I just see it as a cost of convenience. Like, thank you. Here's $100. I will gladly pay $25 late or 25 days late. But no, they laugh. They think it's funny. They seemed like it was funny when I paid them. You know, and I was like, look, I literally walked up and they were all like, there he is. Yeah. But I was like, I got it right here. And they were like, yay, so good. And yeah.
We don't have to evict you.
Yeah, no, I guess that is kind of bleak.
Someone just commented on like me not paying my credit cards and they were like, her parents probably paid them off and they like didn't tell her. I'm like, you think they'd do that? That's so funny. I wish.
Honestly, though, I don't know what the hate is if like your parents did pay you. Maybe we've said this before, but like, okay, so I have a friend, not going to name names, but he is just one of those people with a mysterious source of income, okay? And is always doing things.
Of course.
At all times of the day. Drives a really nice car. And so I was with him and I asked him, I literally didn't even think about it. I thought he like had a really nice job. He just seemed like someone that's like.
Because sometimes people in Denver, like everybody works from home now since COVID. So a lot of our friends, like you wouldn't know. It's like, oh, like what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm actually like a cloud architect. Like They have these real jobs, but we just don't see them do it because they can do things during the day.
And so I asked him, I said, oh, so what do you do? Like I've never asked you that. And the friend that was his best friend was in the room and he just kind of chuckled. And I was like, and then he just looked at me and was like, oh, no, I just have like family money. I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, no, I don't work. And I was like, oh, like, and like, not like shocking, but it's like some people do live that. And
that's
fine.
Okay.
And he's not out here on like yachts and shit. Well, he might be. But like, I've been to his house. It's a nice house.
Okay if he was. That's that's between him and his parents.
Yeah, I know. And like I wasn't like, oh, wow.
He's not
money and daddy. It's just like his parents have money. Okay. Like,
people who talk shit on it are just jealous because we would all want that.
In a way, I'm jealous too. I mean, that would be fucking incredible. Like but
you're not like hating on him because it's like if your parents didn't teach you the like value of hard work, even if they didn't, if you're just a spoiled asshole, like that's your own prerogative. But like if we had unlimited money to like run around and film and do our podcast, like to just follow our creative pursuits without the annoyance of like having to go to a fucking restaurant every day.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Great.
And with him, like I've never seen his like work ethic, but he's like a very kind person. He's very polite.
No, he's a wonderful person.
Yeah, a wonderful person. And he's always like doing things. Like he has a lot going for him for a lot of other like creative ventures and stuff. But
I feel like that's anti-generational wealth propaganda.
I mean, kind of.
Is to be like, oh, you're going to be a spoiled shit like asshole. No, just because you don't have to go do things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You can still be a good person.
And you still have responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway.
When you file your taxes,
I'm so rich that my kids don't have to work.
That's what I'm saying. Like I want
yeah.
my kids. Actually, Alex Earl talked about this. She had her dad on her podcast. Her dad in New Jersey, him and his brothers, because they all like owned their family company together. Yeah. They inherited it from their dad, and they opened up an ice cream shop in New Jersey so that all their kids could work there during the summers to learn how to run a business. And like, they just made ice cream. It's like not that big of a deal. And they would have like, you know, a 16-year-old cousin manage it.
Yeah.
And like all the other, like they were like, oh, we were always underage working there. We were like 13 years old, like scooping ice cream. And I'm sorry, people can talk shit all they want on Alex Earl. That girl's working 24/7.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, it's interesting that those parents did that, but that's like still, that was those parents' philosophies on like raising their kids. And they seem, I don't know them. I don't know their work ethic. I do know Alex Earl like she's busy, constantly working. So I mean, I guess it paid off. I'm just not here to like hate on anyone's like wealth or lifestyle. I mean, unless it's like clearly bad, you know what I mean? And it's like,
but even then, it's like people are adults and they can make their own decisions. I don't understand like this weird like hate towards, I don't know, just like so much. It's like you don't have to live like them.
Yeah.
If they're not hurting someone else or obviously doing something like very detrimental to anyone around them, like they can live their lives however they want. They can be a spoiled little brat and they will maybe find out that people don't want to be friends with you, but like that's their own prerogative.
Yeah. That's a own person's journey and they will figure out their life and people will be friends with them or not. And like, honestly, the richest person we know is wildly intelligent, wildly workaholic, hardworking, driven, and like has a vision, you know?
And
so it's like
so into the arts, so smart, and the sweetest, most generous person I know.
Literally. So like, I mean, yeah.
And people could say she's like spoiled. I don't think anyone would if they fucking know her.
Yeah. Do you ever see the videos of like homeless people on the street that end up having like really amazing charisma and like are super nice?
But honestly, like that's rare. Like a session with my life coach, actually, you can find her on Instagram. It's at BELOVE CEO. So B Love CEO. Not sure if she's accepting new people right now, but we like had a session like on money and success. And I was telling her that, you know, sometimes in my life when I've like shared successes with other people, and that was my fault, like surrounding myself with people who like weren't happy to seek success.
Yeah. And that is more on you to figure out who is your real friend and who you can actually share with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you don't have to share it with everyone. The people I was like around at that time, I probably should have kept it to myself when I was doing really well. I like got on Jay Leno's game show. I like got really in really good shape and I was like starting to maybe do some acting again.
Yeah.
And when I shared that with them, they were so mean to me and I was so bullied. And it was like there's this target on my back, either from jealousy or just, I don't know, like they already didn't like me, so fuck her for doing something we want to do. Because they were like aspiring influencers. And she was like, well, Francesca, like, do you think you could live like a full, happy life? Like if you were homeless, like on the street and you didn't have money?
No.
And she was like, how, like those people on the streets, not everyone, of course, like I'm not hating on anyone who's experiencing homelessness, but I'm just saying like people who are struggling, who are having money problems and who can't do the things they want to do. She's like, aren't they usually meaner, in a shittier mood, and like they don't have the means to help people?
Yeah, they're literally like fighting for their life.
But also like a lot of them are addicted to drugs and they're upset and they hate the world and it's them against the man and them against the system. She was like, so like, do you think it's like, you know, more humble or admirable to be struggling when actually if you're like making money and doing well? She's like, think of all the people you know making money and doing well. They're happy. They bring light to others. They bring generosity. They can actually give to the causes they care about.
Yeah.
And she just really helped me like mix that in my mind because like I honestly think like my mindset was almost holding me down.
Yeah. As if like your success is like making you a worse person. But really that's like the opposite is true.
Yeah. She's like, so if you're like evicted from your house and struggling with money, you think you're going to be a nice person?
What is the quote from White Lotus? Like, just because they're rich doesn't mean they're not trashy.
It doesn't mean they're decent people.
It doesn't mean they're decent people. Yeah. What do you mean they're not decent people? They're rich, Mom. Are you guys watching White Lotus? Because obsessed.
So we've been really watching White Lotus and we just finished Severance.
My God, guys.
I think you guys should watch it. But you can't be on your phones. It's like it's mind bending and you have to pay. I don't know why you're doing the Italian hands.
No, because I'm thinking,
you have to pay attention.
Severance, I think, might be one of the top 5 shows I've ever watched in my life. And now I'm not one of those people that have watched like all the shows. Like I've never seen The Wire. I've never seen Peaky Blinders, blah, 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 blah. But like, I'm telling you that Severance had me distraught. I still think about it every day.
I was like upset. Like I was like, it was like, it kind of shows you like the evil side or what corporate culture could turn into of like work-life balance. Now you have to pretend to be a different person at work, which is why I hate working. At least in a restaurant, you can pretend a little bit to like be yourself because the service industry employs alcoholics. But I'm just saying, like, you can be like, I partied this weekend, or you can show up to work and say you're hungover.
Yeah.
Whereas like you can't do that at a corporate job. Like if you went to a festival over the weekend at a corporate job, most jobs, you're gonna be like, oh, I like had a great time with my family.
Yeah. I think my worldview really is that like I think there's a lot of giant dark sides to capitalism, obviously, and it's kind of like the root of all a lot of inequality that we face in the world. And like corporate interests and like profit over people is like where we get into like some
profit over people
is like
where
we get into a lot of issues with our world. And I think Severance did such a good job of kind of playing with that idea on like a really dramatic, amplified scale that made me, I was constantly thinking, like, how many times do we have to pause it and be like, this kind of reminds me like when you're at work and you blah, 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 blah. Ooh, man, I couldn't recommend it enough. It's like, it kind of reminds me of Lost with all the mystery. It reminds me of The Matrix of like how reality isn't real. And it's all talking about like work-life balance and like evil corporations.
And like creating a separate persona.
Yeah.
And like you can't be yourself in that. And then your outside self and your inside self are so living two different lives.
Yeah.
And
wow.
You guys really need to watch it. I would do that. And the whole second season just dropped, so you can just binge it.
Yeah, 2 seasons. It is on Apple TV.
I
thought Apple TV was like a physical TV. Like
he thought it was like a Roku device.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's crazy that like Apple, the owners of our phones, is now creating shows that talk about like
evil corporations. And isn't like Apple one of the biggest corporations in the world now?
Probably, but we know that like all the mining they do for the technology in our phones.
I know.
Like if we all like truly didn't want to support child labor, no one would have a phone.
I know.
Because like there's little kids like mining, what is it, cobalt?
I think
And
cobalt is used in
lithium?
like every single electronic almost. I'm not sure, but I know cobalt's like really bad.
I know it's like child labor in the mines, and it's not good.
And even though it is like illegal in those countries, they have a hard time like policing that, you know?
Yeah.
And then like that's not really Apple's problem.
Yeah.
And I know it like is because Apple is like the buyer of it, but like what's Apple gonna do? Send their Apple tech guys over there? And
well,
be like,
they'd have to spend like
the
millions
child
of
out of the
dollars a
mine.
year.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with factory farming. In a perfect world, they're supposed to do it right, and the animals like are stunned and don't feel pain and things like this. But it's like, what happens when the bolt misses? What happens when one of their legs are frozen to the like? I've just watched Death at a Factory Farm.
I mean, is there
terrifying.
such thing as humane murder?
I mean, that's like a whole other conversation. But I'm just saying, if it was like done right every time, then it'd be different. Just like probably the child labor, which is probably never right. But it just like, of course, if you do it on such a large scale, some of the shit that happens at factory farms is no one would eat meat. Like literally, like if I watch Death at a Factory Farm again, I'll be vegan for another 2 years. And then I forget.
And then you'll forget. Be like, you know what? I love Wagyu.
Do you guys know that Nick's been a vegetarian since he was 12?
I think they fucking know. It is a big part of my personality and lifestyle. But yeah, no, I've been a vegetarian since I was 12. And honestly, I'm not even a vegetarian for any specific reason. It's not really all about the animals. It's not really because of health. It's just, it's been so long at this point, and I've kind of gone through all the different, I guess, philosophies of it, is like why it's a practice of mine, or really a non-practice of mine. But like, yeah, it's been so long at this point that I don't even like meat. I don't consider it. Well, you know, when I was in Japan in 2017, it had been about 10 years of being a vegetarian. And I ended up eating meat because I was like, oh, I'm going to eat fish. And then it just kind of happened. So I started eating meat. So I spent 2 weeks just like eating meat. And I realized, you know what I realized about meat eating? I don't like it. I really don't care.
But speaking of, we're going to take a Jello shot.
Yeah. Is this our ethics podcast episode? What's
ethics.
The ethicality of gelatin?
Well, because gelatin is not vegetarian, but he was raised in a Jello shot family.
Yeah.
So speaking of, we are, for my videos, at 2.1 million on the shot collar.
Good job.
Thank you. I paid our rent and selling shot collars.
What do they say to the god of eviction?
Not
this
today.
month.
Wait, that was good.
Thanks. Okay, and also we made these gel shots way too big.
I know. Usually it's like half a cup, and we've had 2, 3.
I feel like
this is 4
when I'm eating it.
I feel like I'm better and quicker on the podcast when I'm not drinking on it. But like I'm already feeling a little bit. That's fine. Cheers.
Okay, so I'm doing a blue Hawaiian,
and I'm doing a Mai Tai or a margarita, strawberry margarita. I don't remember.
Well, all right.
But this is our favorite company called Gel Shots. We're gonna start selling them too. It's like cocktail flavored Jello. That's way too much.
They are so good. It's just a lot of Jello in one.
Yeah, too much. Anyway, let's
so
get to these mean comments.
Okay. So because we're going viral on a couple different videos right now, we already said this, but like we've been reading so many comments coming in, and they've just kind of like really entertained us. So we're gonna read some of the mean comments.
Let's go to the shot caller first because we were talking about it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, the comment with 2,000 likes is lost me at my parents cut me off. And someone goes, yeah, same. Must be nice to have privileged mindset, upset at her parents for wanting her to make her own way in life instead of relying on mommy and daddy's money. Wow, you really don't know me.
You fell for the bait.
But
fell for the bait.
I love when our friends, like, what's it called? Like, retaliate in the comments, like, for us. She's like, she literally said, my parents cut me off, but if I sell these, they will pay me. Being cut off at the ripe age of 40 is crazy. Okay, rude. This makes me happy I quit drinking.
Wait, I like that.
I feel that face wipe in my soul because I like spilled my rosé and wiped it off my face.
I love when TikTok comments call me old.
No, it's like their thing.
Yeah, I know. It's what? Am I 30 on TikTok? That I am.
Someone was like, wait, so you were raised on Jello shots? I'm jealous.
No, that's like literally, as I said, I'm a vegetarian, but I eat gelatin because we're the heirs of the Jello shots.
Someone said respectfully, $33 is ridiculous. I'd pay $3. $3? Okay, first of all, our parents had to design it. We worked with the design company. So I think we're in, I don't know, like $50K with the design company.
Yeah.
Like iterations and 3D molds and like printing them, testing all the prototypes, making it. Then we had to get a mold made.
So much goes into it, and it's not really just a funnel because it's hot, so it steams. So there's a steam valve. Like they don't know what they're talking about.
No, and then like a mold is 100 to 300 grand to mold plastic. Then you have to find a manufacturer who does a run for you. They're not going to do a run for 10. You got to order like $10,000, $20,000 worth of product. It costs us like a lot to make them, and $33 is like cheap. Our parents sell it for more. I sell it for cheaper on TikTok.
Get it on TikTok.
Who makes Jello shots so often that they need a maker?
We do. My parents made so many Jello shots that they had to figure out a way to do it better. Thus, the invention of the Jello.
So my mom was on, like my dad was on a rugby team, and then the rugby team always had a fundraiser. It was a golf fundraiser, and so my mom would always drive the little cart with her friendlies, and then they would make thousands of Jello shots to sell to raise money for a fundraiser for the rugby team. And yeah. And I just love, like, so many people were like, wait, you're so feral. I love it.
That you are.
Yeah. They're like, okay, girl, like, can I come over?
Also, because we make so many Jello shots just for like TikTok videos, we don't take that many honestly, because like who just sits at home and takes Jello shots? So every time my friend has like a house party or a pregame, we always show up with like a cooler of Jello shots. It's like, who wants Jello shots? And they're like, did you really just bring 300 Jello shots over? I'm like, yeah, I did. You're welcome.
Someone said intervention comment.
Intervention comment?
Because I was tipsy.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate the hard work it took to create this device, but I don't see it as a long-term investment. And for that reason, I'm out. That's what they say on Shark Tank.
Oh,
that's actually funny.
I like how some of the TikTok comments and the people in them just get real like entrepreneur on you, and they start using lingo, and I'm just like, stop.
Grow up.
You haven't invented anything.
Unhinged, I'm here for it. Earn to follow for me in the first 5 seconds. You know what? Thank you.
Yeah, see, the girlies who get it.
Truly. It's giving my dad was the inventor of toaster strudel.
That is my favorite comment of all time.
I don't know. It was mostly just like, you're spilling all over yourself. Oh my gosh. Like, some people said I didn't make them strong enough. Some people I made them too strong. Some people were upset because like the measuring cups were different.
Oh my God. Let's talk about that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Measuring cups. Did you guys know that there's a difference between solid measuring cups and liquid measuring cups? Okay, guys, here's the thing. That is true. There is a difference between solid and
like
liquid.
dry and wet
ingredients, okay? But the thing is, when we're talking about volume, 1 ounce is 1 ounce. That is 100% the thing, okay? 1 ounce is 1 ounce. But when you're baking and you have to be really, really specific, you have the dry measuring cup so you can level it off. And then the wet ones usually have like a spout and there's a little more give, okay? But we're not baking a croissant or cupcakes or like a lemon meringue. We're literally making vodka jello shots.
One of my favorite comments was like, she literally missed half of the measuring cup.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like, I'm sorry we're missing like a nanogram of. But again, in baking makes sense. I'm not a baker, but I know it's hard.
I have made mini jello shots, and this is a great idea. I would suggest you be just a tad more professional, but you seem like you don't really care. Your parents cut you off for a reason. Earn it back.
I think that's like a fair assessment from like a business owner. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I like that.
So
A tad more professional. Like
DEI hire?
DEI.
No, like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sorry, we hired a woman.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever actually seen. Your parents didn't invent anything. They're not even Jello. You still have to freeze that. You're not fastly making Jello shots. It's not faster.
Okay, guys. See, it's comments like that like actually kind of make me want to just like be homeless. But like, yeah, we know it doesn't turn it into Jello. It's just a way to get the hot sticky liquid into the tiny cups. Like, it's not even Jello.
Alcohol being the family business makes sense. Never get high off your own supply.
You know, I mean, we've said that people are always like, oh, like Nick's so crazy. He parties so much. And I was like, yeah, so does my whole family. And my parents invented a Jello shot maker. Like, I mean.
The sloppiness is annoying.
Oh.
Another one. Get a job.
Clean girl aesthetic is out. One.
It
Two,
is.
This is my job.
This
okay?
literally is my job.
Yeah.
On a Thursday night, I could have been at the bar drinking. Instead, I sat alone in my house and made Jello shots. People were just like, but how many did you have before you recorded? Her answer, yes.
True.
A lot of you should be fine.
The lot of you. Oh, we got an English speaker or British speaker.
One of my favorite things, though, if you've seen the new, what's it called? Trailer for Logan and Jake Paul's new reality show.
Yeah.
Logan Paul goes, the currency of America and of social media is not being liked. The currency is attention. So like all of the mean comments, it's like, honestly, like, thank you. Like I did this on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, you started the video off with like a lie. Like my parents cut me off, you know?
Yeah.
Like you wanted them to comment. I know. But with our listeners, we really hope you like.
My girl said, watch me get plastered and still make these without making a mess. Well played, my fellow drinking partner. Alcoholics have meetings. We have soirees.
Exactly.
And that's it.
I love it.
I'm ending on that. Those are my friends. Like, and I was like, I literally dripped. I could have cut that out. Like, do people not know, like, we curate social media content? So if I'm looking like an idiot doing it, I fully meant to keep that in.
I actually rewatched myself do it, edited it, and then clicked post. I think that is also what a lot of people don't realize. Like with the Costco video that we did, I set my granola sample down.
Let's go to the Costco video.
Okay, let's go to the
Let's
Costco
explain
video.
it real quick.
Okay.
So basically, like, we went to Costco and we wore different disguises as a joke because we had $3 in our bank account to see how many samples that we could get. And since we have learned that you can get as many samples as you want, they want you to take the samples. They do not care. You pay a membership and they get to leave when the samples are gone. So like, they're like, yo, keep going, keep doing it. Like we weren't fooling them.
You can go up to the same person and get 100 samples and they do not care.
You can eat they have little baby corn dogs. You can sit there for 45 minutes and they're never going to tell you to stop.
Yeah, because you pay for a membership to Costco.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you paid $100 to even walk in there. And some people only go like twice a month, you know? But the thing is, guys, we know this.
It's
okay?
called a skit.
It's called a skit. It's called being funny. And like we literally brought all these different disguises in. And the disguises are so stupid that like I wasn't trying to fool the sample girl. We were just, I mean, obviously you guys know, but like we were just, it's like, I don't know how people don't see the humor in it. You know, that's what bothers me is like people are like, you really didn't have to wear all the disguises. And it's like, yeah, I know. Okay. So wait, here is my favorite.
This is a YouTube comment today
that we got on the Costco videos. Okay. I want to frame this and put it on my wall. Okay. This is actually not funny. Samples are just simply that, just samples. They aren't meant to be a meal or to be given out in high quantities. Wrong. I realize this is meant as a joke, but you are taking advantage of this poor woman just trying to do her job, and you are also insulting her her intelligence by having such cheesy and dumb disguises, thinking that she didn't recognize you. She totally does, but she is too nice to rat you out and is just doing her job to the best of her ability. You all are assuming she's an idiot. Not cool.
This was a theme of comments though.
Yeah,
that was one long one. But there was, I would say, like a couple percentage points of the comments were like us, like they want to arrest us for elderly abuse.
I know. Okay, guys, and let's just preface this and say, okay, the people who give out samples at Costco are largely elderly people.
Yeah.
That does not mean they are disabled, senile fucktards. Okay. It's a woman. Like I'm just,
she just happens to be older.
Yeah.
How fucking rude of you.
I know. It's like you guys are the ones calling her like, oh, she's just doing it to the best of her abilities. I hope she can put granola in a cup and give it to you fast enough. Yeah, she can. She's fine. And actually, let's take it a step further. So once we were done with the video, we were talking to her about it. And like she said, she obviously knew it was me in dumb disguises every time.
She was like, you guys made my day. It was so funny, so silly. She was like, I loved it.
Yeah, she obviously knew because they were dumb disguises because we were
on purpose.
On purpose. And she was like, she told us she's actually an actress and she loves doing stuff like this. I would have
kept our talking with her at the end. And I was like, do you mind if you're on camera? Because I try not to have like random people. It's not illegal to film in a public place because legally, actually, this isn't a legal podcast. Don't take legal advice from me. But from Google, I have learned after I filmed that girl who tried to like assault me in a restaurant, she said she was going to like sue me. And I was like, you can't. If you're in public, you're consenting to being filmed. You don't have to sign a release. It's not a problem. But she was like, actually, I'm an actress and I'm in SAG-AFTRA. So she is a union actress. Anyone who's in the union union will sue you. The union will make sure she is paid.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to pay you to be in this.
So we didn't use her face. You can only see like her back and barely hear her voice. So she's like not really in the video. But she loved it and thanked us for brightening her day. She is not some old woman that like
people think we're being like so mean. They're like, I can't believe you would do this to someone. This is ridiculous. Like literally elder abuse.
They're like, she's just some old woman just trying to pay her bills. I'm like, guys, she is a
thriving,
able-bodied woman,
working actress.
You guys are the ones making it weird about her age.
Truly,
not you, my listeners. TikTok comments.
No, not her listeners. If people hate listen from the TikTok comments, I mean, love you. Thank you.
This one says, imagine the manager and the security just watching you put on different disguises. I will say it did feel weird to like put on like change in the middle of Costco.
But that like added to like the funniness.
I know, exactly. But
that's one thing we were going to say is people were big mad in the comments that you set down your cups like to change. Yeah. And they just assumed because we didn't film it that we left the cups there. They were like, all I needed to see is that you guys are disgusting litterers.
Okay. We threw away every sample cup that we had and we just didn't film ourselves
throwing them away because that wouldn't be in the video. That wouldn't go viral.
Yeah. The amount of people just in all caps, pick up your trash. It's like, guys, I did.
But this like always goes back to like Brittany Broski talked on her podcast about, she was like, I hate some of you guys on TikTok. She's like, because I'll post like, hey, I'm making my grandmother's egg salad recipe. And then people are like, I actually am allergic to eggs. I can't eat eggs.
Well, what if I don't like eggs?
Yeah. What if I don't like eggs?
I can't have eggs. I'll die.
And then people are like, I mean, it's just like, you can scroll. You can actually just scroll past the video and go on with your life. It's like, if you say you like oranges, people are like, why aren't you giving a platform about nectarines? Why would you only like oranges? Like, what's wrong with you? And I don't know what that is, but you know, with like what Jake and Logan Paul said about like wanting attention and like not being liked is not the currency. I've really like realized that it kind of is. Like we know like a lot of, and we've said this before on the podcast, but a lot of the big creators have burner accounts and then they just go comment mean things on their TikTok, their own TikToks, so that it'll go into the algorithm for people who just want to troll and like be mean because like,
yeah,
it's Wild.
I guess like the takeaway point is like no Costco employees were harmed in the making of that video.
People really wanted to tell us that you could get unlimited samples. And like, I appreciate it. But I will say on this video, like for the most part, people are like, wait, like I want to be friends with these guys. Like I love like wholesome, harmless, like humor. For those who realized it was harmless.
It was harmless.
This poor woman does not get paid enough to care.
I like that. No, she actually gets paid to not care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's just passing out samples.
Someone put in quotes. For some reason, we had such a good turnout at samples today. Sorry, I love to go to the filtered comments because that's when people are cussing us off.
That's like when people get
People
crazy.
are like, old ladies just see a hungry grandson. They don't give a fuck.
No, literally, yeah.
And then someone said, your voice is so distinct. And someone commented back, you mean gay? That said, white people defining crime with an eye roll. I don't know what that means.
I guess we're committing crimes.
You need to find something better to do with your time. I'm sorry, but TikToking is a real job that actually pays. And so like
yeah.
doing fun
Wait,
things.
I saw one that was actually like, imagine a brown person doing this. And I was like, okay, like usually like I'm all down for like racial critique because I do believe racism is a big problem in our world. But like the fact that I was like, okay, maybe we don't need to bring race into like Costco samples. I mean, just saying.
I don't know. You never know. But this brings us in to the credit cards.
Oh God.
We have one more.
No, we have two more.
What? Oh.
Yeah. No, we're like,
should
we're
we do
those
the cat?
views, motherfuckers.
Can we go to the cat one?
Okay, yeah, let's go to the cat.
You guys, like, bear with us here because
okay,
it's getting funnier. We're going to like a funnier one, and then we're going to go to one where like people are actually trying to throw us in jail.
Okay, so Francesca and I take our parents to the park, Cheeseman Park in Denver, which is like a very large public park, and there's all sorts of activities going on. And we were there, and there were all these people looking up in a tree, and I was like, what's going on? And then I happened to run into my two friends, and I was like, hey, why is everyone looking at this tree? And they're like, this cat named Junebug got stuck in a tree, and now everyone is watching the cat in the tree. And then all of a sudden, this man pulls out climbing gear from his car and ends up scaling this tree like 50 feet in the air to rescue the cat. And I filmed the whole thing, made a cute little video, posted it to Instagram. And I thought like it was kind of entertaining and, you know, like wholesome. This guy like saved a cat from a tree. That is like the quintessential idea of like a good deed of like saving a cat from a tree. And my, did it get bad?
This is my favorite exchanges.
This one is so rough. Okay. This says, leave the cat there long enough and the cat will make it down on its own. Okay. And then this person said, sadly, cats can't climb down always as well as they can climb up. If they don't learn how, they can get stuck and will stay up there for days and days. And the guy responded, I know about cats. They will get down by themselves. And the other guy said, I'm glad you know about cats.
No, and then the one guy said, I've never seen a cat skeleton in a tree.
He goes, exactly. I've never seen a cat skeleton up in a tree. They'll come down eventually. Okay. So many things going on here. Okay, so this is a public park, and this is someone's cat, okay? So
she had her cat on the harness, and the cat got out of the harness, ran up the tree.
Okay, and like, here's the thing. I don't know about cats. Like, can the cat get down from the tree? I'm not fucking sure. But what is the woman supposed to do? Is the woman supposed to stay there for days on end in the public park and just hope that the cat comes down at some time, realizing that it could or not be stuck, you know? Or does she have to go home at a certain point? Because if she left the cat up in the tree and went back to her apartment, that's insane. Okay.
Yeah, because the cat could come down and get run over by a car.
She needs her cat out of the tree.
Yeah.
And then also if the cat gets down from the tree, say in an hour after she leaves, and the cat's just roaming Cheeseman Park.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, you can't do it. Okay. So the woman needed her cat. Okay.
Junebug.
Junebug.
The cat has a name.
The cat. Everyone keeps saying the cat like she has a name. It's like, what do you want her to do?
No, a nice man. Scroll down. There's a comment that goes with this nice man. This nice man like had climbing gear and he's going up. But oh wait, you were about to talk about. You responded and being like, "Have you seen any type of skeleton in a tree?" No.
Okay, so he's like, "I've never seen a cat skeleton in a tree," and I'm like, "Have you seen any skeleton in a tree?" No. How many skeletons in a tree have you seen?
They're not just hanging by their tails.
You know what I know? You know what I know for sure can climb a tree and get down? Squirrels. Have you ever?
They're just squirrels.
every tree I see is just littered with squirrel skeletons everywhere.
They die on the ground because when they die, they fall.
When they die, they fall. Okay, so I don't really know a lot about like squirrel lifespans or squirrel lifestyles.
They probably crawl into a hole and die.
They probably are on the ground and die, or they fall, or they're old and they miss a branch.
I don't think they're clinging
on
onto the top branch.
I know. I don't.
And then they just leave this world.
I know exactly. They don't just like ascend. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just in, like cat skeletons in the tree. No, I've never seen a cat skeleton in the tree. That doesn't
mean they always come down.
That doesn't deduce that they can just get down. Also, the woman needed her cat. Like, it's just like at the end of the day, she needs her cat in like within the hour because she's gonna leave.
And the sun's going down.
Exactly.
It's not safe in Denver in the parks.
Have you ever seen an owl skeleton in a tree?
Any birds?
Any birds.
We know for sure they can get down
because they can fly. Okay. I've never
birds are
seen,
just dropping from the sky.
Yeah. No, it's just so crazy. Like, what are they just, I don't know. Kills me. But next time you guys ever see a skeleton of any kind
in a tree,
send it to us. Okay. Because I'll DM this guy and be like, oh, guess you're right. Found a skeleton.
I know, like we know that we had a friend Drax, who's like a big TikToker. You know, she has millions of followers on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. She's like, oh, 1 hour after it's posted, I don't even read those comments. I'm not that evolved. I'm in here fighting in the comments. We're gonna have to get over this because it's consuming us.
Consuming it. So he goes, have you ever seen a skeleton of it? I said, have you ever seen a skeleton of any kind in a tree? And he goes, birds, a possum, snake. But never a cat, sir. I'm going to call that out as bullshit. You have never seen a snake skeleton in a tree.
Just like wrapped around beautifully.
I know. Just like, oh my God, like a bangle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, you haven't. You haven't. That's an opossum. So what are you climbing trees and inspecting the different types of skeletons and be like, oh, that's an opossum.
He's like
that's
a naturist. Like, yeah. I know cats.
No.
Okay, but this next comment.
Wait, hold up. I did just see that the guy that was commenting's username is Troll6969. So maybe you were the ones being trolled. Anyway, content. Okay, this one's good. This homosexual. Now we're bringing gays into the cat. Like a cat gets stuck in a tree and it's the gays' fault. Okay. This homosexual just wanted attention from the gays at Cheeseman Park. It's nearly impossible for cats to get stuck in trees. They can get down on their own. Give it time and they will come down. Don't believe me? There are thousands of rescue videos online where the cat gets down on its own. This is what I said. I said, what's the girl supposed to do? Just stay at the park for days waiting for her cat? Also, what do gays have to do with this? Okay. And he said, ignore the cat. It'll get down on its own. Okay.
Just ignore it.
Just
don't look at it.
Don't. And the cat will be like, oh, are they looking? All right, I can get down now. What? And then I said, yeah, so what do gays have to do with this? And he said, either you were born in the 2000s and or are new to the state. Cheeseman Park has been the go-to spot for anonymous gay sex since the 70s. Everyone who grew up here in the state before it was cool knows this. And then the transplants flocked here. Okay. Here. Okay. Most public parks back in the 70s were like cruising spots for gay men. I understand that because they would get murdered otherwise. But like, it is the middle of the day. So is he saying that this random man, who I met, by the way, who climbed the tree, he was totally straight. But so this random man was walking through the park and saw a cat get stuck in a tree and everyone watching it. And because the park is filled with anonymous gay men doing gay sex, he decided to go back to his car, get all of his climbing gear,
put a helmet on,
scale the tree, get the cat, rappel down, just in hopes that some of the gays at Cheeseman Park have sex with him. Everyone knows this, Francesca.
Yeah, it's obvious.
It's obvious. Oh, this one guy said, you know an awful lot about gay cruising spots for someone I've seen utilize them several times. Wall by the Botanical Gardens. Is that you? And then this one comment said, fucking calm down, weirdo. Gay people live in y'all's heads rent free.
Really, though?
I love that. Okay, this comment says, here in Colorado, we don't call the fire department. Someone just goes and gets their climbing gear.
We tried calling the fire department.
Yeah, the fire department was called, and the fire department said
we don't come for cats.
Absolutely not. Like, this isn't the 1950s, like small town Iowa.
I thought that's what they did, but they said nope.
Well, because they have like ladders and shit.
Yeah.
You know, but
no, the
I
ladder
guess,
could go all the. Yeah, it would be very easy for
but I
them to
guess
get it.
like a department of grown men don't really don't really care.
I just feel like they couldn't really do that, like insurance wise. Like, why would they put their people at risk for falling off a ladder for like a cat? And then if the cat jumps because it was near them and then the cat dies, would someone sue the fire department?
Someone commented, "Oh my god, this is my cat. Wait, is this the girl?"
Let me see.
But it might be.
I remember what she looked like. Yeah, that's her.
Oh my god.
Hey, Rebecca. We love Junebug.
Wait, follow her. That is so funny.
Oh my god, this is my cat. Rebecca, you made it on the podcast.
Rebecca,
Wait,
I'm on your side.
Rebecca was not having a good day.
No, that's a really.
Of course not. It's terrifying.
No, that's like a
I'm not
really.
laughing. No, that like I saw you upset and we were all upset for you. My whole family and my friends, our friends had been there for hours before us.
I know it was like a couple hours of an event, but I mean, yeah, she didn't mean to get the cat stuck. Like the cat got out of the harness, whatever. I do think it's a bit weird to bring your cat to the park, but we are in Colorado.
Her friend goes, Miss Junebug is a celebrity.
Miss Junebug.
And then someone goes, does your cat usually cause impromptu neighborhood events? And then Rebecca goes, she just loves the attention. And I love these comments. Yay, the collaboration, positive energy, group celebration, how highlights how caring humans can be. A proud Colorado moment.
It was awesome. I mean, just everyone came together.
Someone goes, oh my God, I walked past this happening and I was so confused. I thought everyone was just sitting around watching this dude climb a tree. I didn't realize a cat got stuck. So glad your fur baby is safe. Thank you, Chelsea Lynn. I'm sure Rebecca appreciates that.
Now let's go on to, guys, it just all devolves from here. So if you want to stop listening to this podcast.
You're going to really, like, people want us to die. So as you know, last week on the podcast, I told everyone credit cards are fake. And I ended that clip. If people stayed for the whole clip, I ended that clip saying, you should probably not fuck your credit up.
Like word for word in the clip, not just like the whole.
No, like the clip online. But this clip has like almost 500,000 views. It's like stealing. Please don't have children. You're going to teach them bullshit like this. Okay, first of all,
I'm gay. I'm not having kids.
No.
Because I'm having gay anonymous sex in Cheeseman Park.
Yeah, exactly. No, but second of all, these companies steal from Americans. They bet on the housing market to collapse. I'm not saying two wrongs make a right, but what I am saying is like they try so hard to get you credit cards and they are taking a risk on you. And also, once it is sold to a collection agency, which I did say, technically you really don't have to pay the collection agency back. Because you never entered into a contract with them. When someone like sells your debt, you never entered in legally. So that collections agency can't sue you. And that's actually real. I really appreciate the financial advisors like responding to this.
I know. And like, let it be said, and I think people know this, but you should never really take financial advice from TikTokers, especially like two siblings taking Jello shots in a closet. But like, and I thought that it would be funny, but it's so weird with these comments. It's like, you just never know. People don't know how to like differentiate between whether it's like a joke or being serious, you know?
No, like if you are following the financial advice of a comedy podcast of a couple comedians who are like drunk half the time on their podcast, that's your problem.
It is your problem.
Please don't take advice from me ever with anything.
We'll say that, yeah.
Someone says this feels like some white privilege. Sorry. I don't think like they know the color of your skin with your debt. I don't know if that's on your debting.
Why do we got to bring race? And I'm just kidding.
No, but like,
yeah.
This one says you can't go to prison for debt because we outlawed debtor prisons. The last one closed in 1849 because they're not legally binding. Learn the difference between criminal liability versus civil liability.
Learn the difference. I don't know the difference, but like, that sounds correct to me.
And I'm not saying steal. I'm just saying.
And I'm also not saying don't pay back your credit cards. That's not
pay them back. Be a good little creditor. Get your little credit score from daddy government. Like, I don't care. What? I think we need to stop being like, so they're betting on that. Do you know that rich people will go $500 million in debt and then declare bankruptcy? That is a thing.
And then they're seen as like moguls.
The slate is clean. Most moguls have had their companies like declare bankruptcy like 8 to 10 times, and that's just called business, baby.
And And that's just showbiz, baby.
Really, though,
Yeah.
it's like they didn't care. Is
Yeah.
that stealing? It is very legal to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, no, I know. I feel like it's weird that like we were just like joking about, credit, and people have made it into like a moral issue. I guess they've made everything a moral issue in our comments, like how many samples can you take, elderly abuse.
Oh, yeah. And like, we're the
cats.
reason for inflation.
Oh, yeah.
We're also the reason for high interest rates.
Yeah, that we're the reason for
Yeah,
high
this is
interest
why
rates.
inflation exists.
Did you guys know that we caused inflation?
A lot of it was like, they really need to make podcast equipment harder to obtain.
I agree with that one. Not everyone needs a podcast, guys.
But people were like, people like this should be fined for giving bad advice. I also want to remind you that we live in a country with free speech. If it's not hate speech, one, I'm not giving advice. But like, I could start a financial podcast and say, I could be a real CPA and I could be like, hey, this is my advice for blah, blah. And it could be the worst advice ever.
Yeah. I mean,
satire or not. And
yeah.
it is not your problem if someone takes your advice and fucks up their life. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
You can't find people for giving bad advice. That's so true. But
like, if our TikTok
people
comments,
are really coming for our heads on this one. And I knew when the clip was made by our editor, I was like, oh my God, people are going to have something to say about this. But,
yeah, we're spreading misinformation.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why, like, we should be, people want us to live in a state where they imprison you for spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting mad.
Don't get mad.
This is horrible advice. This should be taken down.
Take it down.
I don't know, but honestly, I love the comments that are like, I did this when I was 22 and all of it fell off after 7 years and I have a 780 credit score. They're like, it worked for me. So like,
sometimes you need to bail out, like every large corporation.
I have heard from the comments that Discover and Amex will sue you.
So if you guys have Discover and Amex, maybe
don't
pay
do
those
that
back, because they can sue you. Like
they totally can.
That is real. You didn't say they can't sue you.
No, mine just didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Dodge that bullet.
You feel like gambling.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like the worst case scenario of them suing you is you pay it back, which is what you guys wanted me to do in the first place.
Yeah, I guess that's
so
true.
like that's my worst case.
People were like, oh my God, I bet their credit's so bad, blah, 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 blah. And to that I say, I don't have credit. Like,
this person said when my mom was getting her will and she knew she was dying, her lawyer told her to max out a bunch of credit cards because credit is written off.
Is it?
I don't think it follows your kids, but I don't know because this isn't a financial podcast.
I have no idea. I guess that is a question I have. Like, if you're terminally ill, could you just like go buy your child like refurnish their entire house?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think there are.
We don't know. We don't
tell you.
But I just like, yeah, that is an interesting question.
How is this video still live? Terrible advice.
Because we're literally laughing and joking the whole time. Like,
and I'm telling you not to do it. Like, we're just talking about what I did.
That's fine.
This can't be a real. Honestly,
no, baby,
you're as surprised as I am.
Uh,
we had Ramit something. He almost has 1 million followers on Instagram. He's like a big TikToker. He commented today and he was like, this is why I'll always have a job. And I was like, happy to keep you employed, Ramit.
Because he's like all about like the wealth mindset and getting people
and like doing things. Yeah. And he deleted his comment after I responded.
You know what, Ramit? Come on the podcast. Let's talk about it.
Someone just commented jail.
Jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
I just don't have any
where's
loyalty.
the comment from our financial advisor?
He was like, what she's saying is half true. He was like, they can sue you. Most of them write it off, and that you're not in a legally binding contract with collections agencies. So you never have to pay it. And you do have like consumer protection laws and stuff. Like they can't harass you.
Yeah.
Someone was like, they're start harassing your neighbors and then it'll be your problem.
Oh, what they
no,
say?
they're not.
They were going to call your neighbors in the middle of the night. No, they're not going to call your neighbors in the middle of the night. That's harassment. I don't.
But also don't not pay your credit cards if you don't feel like it.
Wait, what was one of the comments that was like, I didn't pay back my credit cards after 18 years and 18 years later they still haven't come for me?
Yeah. She was like, I did this like a long time ago. I have a high credit score now and it was like totally fine. And then a lot of other people were like, I just left the country, which is also fine because they can't get you there.
Yeah. They have different time zones.
Sorry, we've been having an issue with time zones. Like all our meetings are all messed up. This person said, just do what I did. Move to the USA from Canada. Credit score reset. They can't find me to serve me. And my name changed for marriage. You're fine.
You're fine, baby. Just move countries, marry someone, change your name. Golden.
I will say though, like the last podcast when I'm like talking about all this, and then obviously like the guy that I told you that I met, he definitely watched the last podcast. I was like, this is like probably not like putting my best foot forward, but you know.
It's okay. You're a comedian.
No, truly. But speaking of people who liked our podcast videos,
someone who takes financial advice from us.
Bella Hadid.
Bella Hadid.
Did you know that she's our sister?
Actually, we have.
She she didn't want us to like come out with it before.
Yeah, like we haven't really been able to tell people that, but Bella Hadid is my sister.
No, I've been trying to get her to respond to my text, but she's
like busy.
I know. It's sometimes when she's so busy with her horses, like it really makes me sad that we don't get that quality time.
Yeah, I was at work when Bella Hadid liked our video, and I told everyone that I worked with. And by the way, I just started there that week. Like none of these people know me.
No, and we made a pact that we weren't going to tell the people that we worked with that we did a podcast.
Yeah. It's like
you keep getting recognized at work, though.
I have been getting recognized at work. But yeah, they were like, my manager. I was like, yeah. So Bella Hadid just liked my Instagram video. And he was like, oh, Bella Hadid. And then all of a sudden he stopped. He goes, wait, why though? And I was like, well,
let me tell you. Because I'm a silly goose and she appreciates wholesome pranks.
Wholesome pranks at Costco. So we've been running with that joke a lot. Just like, oh, like every time we're out, we just tag Bella Hadid. Just be like, Bella's on her way.
You know what I would love? You know how like Ridiculousness already is a show?
Yeah.
But he's wildly successful. If we just like did our favorite TikToks of the week and then reacted to them, that's all he does on the show.
I know.
But I feel like, yes, it's like copying, but at the same time, that's like saying like someone doing sketches is copying SNL.
Yeah.
What if we just like had a video and then we just like did that?
Reacted to it.
Because I already try and make you watch video homework every week.
Francesca sends me 10 videos a day. Half of them I've seen already. And it's like...
But I want other people, and some people who don't TikTok would watch our show.
I know. I think I want to do like a show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Francesca and I have kind of been talking about like, we want to start doing more YouTube videos because like our YouTube videos don't get like many views at all just because like no one
wants to see these faces.
Yeah. But they don't know us. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Say if we were doing like content other than just you and I talking, shooting the shit, like maybe they would be enticed to listen to the podcast doing something else. Like, whatever it be. And I've kind of been thinking like what would be fun to do.
I like that idea. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of licensing. You have to get permission to use the video.
Like non-exclusive agreements and weird stuff like that. And listen, one thing about us, we're not really good on like the fine print. Clearly. So it's like
I'm just trying to be silly.
I'm just a silly quack.
That's all I have.
That's all I have too. All right. Well,
I wish we would have found some meaner ones. Man, some of them are.
Yeah.
But I liked it. And honestly, thanks for all the nice comments.
Yeah. And the listeners.
Go battle them in the comments. They need it.
I know.
These trolls out here.
And don't ever take financial advice
if you learn anything.
All right. Well, is that it?
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see you guys soon. Love you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Go buy a shot collar from our parents. That'd be lovely. Thanks.